please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
10,900. The first trade is a little south of that, 10,895, but no worries, 898, 897, very close, 899, so pretty close to 10,900 at this juncture. The Nifty, the Sensex is up about 140, 150 almost, and that's 36,080. So 36,000 conquered short point. The Nifty Bank is lagging completely, just about 0.2 up. It's not at all helping the Nifty today. So let's come to the stocks. HCL Tech, again, because of the buyback news, is up about 2.5, followed by Tech Mahindra, which is up about 1.2, Hindalco 1, ONGC 1, ICICI Bank, ICICI Bank 1%, Reliance 1%. I guess that's the Credit Suisse move. And as well, of course, our technical experts were saying the charts were headed higher. SBI, Bajaj Auto, Lupin, Infosys, Bajaj Finserv, Bharti Airtel are among those that have gained about 0.5%. What's not gained at all? Bharti Infratel, TCS nervous, I guess. Butterflies before the results, and of course a big rally is over. HPBP, we were always expecting, would be a little under the weather, as would be IOC. And then there are a bunch of IndusInd Bank is starting on the back foot. I guess, again, people have already loaded on. Axis Bank, Yes Bank. Yes Bank has seen enough, so a little not participating in today's rally, left it to other companies. 10,900 was not scaled today. In the first 3 minutes, it's back to 10,880.
Okay, well, looking pretty good for the mid-cap index, up about 0.4%. The advance decline ratio is solid at 4:1 in favor of the advances. The stock that's piling on gains now is Sadbhav Infra. It's up almost about 7-odd%. The toll collections in Q1 have picked up quite a bit. It's a gain of almost 14% as far as revenues received from 10 operational SPVs are concerned. So that's what the street liked. Dilip Bilcon has gained another 4% now. So it's been a pretty good gain this month. Dilip Bilcon is up about 15-odd%, recovering from the fall. These graphite stocks are looking pretty good. So Graphite India, HEG are both up and about. In fact, HEG sitting at a new high this morning, so keep an eye out on that. Talking about new highs, RBL Bank, Britannia, Exide, all at new highs this morning from the broader market, so keep an eye out on that. RBL Bank now up almost about 1.5%. Some more stocks in the news. IDFC Bank, the promoters bought stake via the open market, so that stock is trading in the green, up about 1.5%. SRF has announced a new plant in Thailand. They'll be making a capex for that, so up about 0.7% there. Idea Cellular on getting that conditional nod for the merger, looking pretty good. Aurobindo Pharma on that acquisition, looking in the green as well. And a couple of more PNC projects also, because they won those orders. PNC projects is up in the green.
But I think what we need to really notice is that the Nifty could not hold the highs for a good first 5 minutes. Okay, it's about 3 minutes since the market opened. It's actually given up about 20 points. Didn't make it to 10,900. Now 10,875 to 80. Ashwini, is there a message here?
See, the message is you are getting a bit of a dip. So we bought this dip on Bank Nifty. This was exactly what we were looking for. So just early morning dip, and buying should return, and possibly the market could move up from here. So this is a technique of getting into this market. If you buy the opening gap up, you tend to get the highest price. So we are buyers on Bank Nifty at the open. So on individual stocks, Shriram Transport is bottoming out. I watched this even yesterday. So that's something people should pay attention to. Chances are, this may have bottomed.
Okay. Sudarshan, what about you? The mid-cap index has opened up with gains of about 0.5%. I wanted your thoughts on a couple of these names. HUL hitting new highs right now, Exide, RBL Bank, all of them. And anything that you've spotted?
Well, yes, I'm looking at Adani Ports, which we have not talked about, but HUL is an investment idea. It's not a day trade, or it's not an intraday trade for the day. The Exide also is an investment idea. It's worth buying into and holding. Again, after this big gap up, which is now getting sold into, maybe the trades intraday will not be easy.
Oh, okay, intraday trade. Yeah, they are always tough, I guess. Mitesh, is there any intraday trade for you? The buy starts only after 10,900, right? So at the moment, any trade on the index?
No, not on the index, Lata, but on stock, I think, we just got the news that LoRa developers will be filing for an IPO, and I think that could get some of the real estate stocks excited. We're just observing DLF, the intraday charts are shaping up nicely after a decline. So that could be an early buy with a stop at 186 and look for target of around 200 to begin with.
Okay, well, Sterlite Tech is seeing some follow-on buying after that acquisition of Metallurgica that they made yesterday. There's also some, news on an order win that they got from Power Grid, about a 128 crore order or so. So Sterlite Tech, look at that, up about 3.5%. Any thoughts on this one? I mean, it's resumed its upside lately.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is, and with so much happening on telecom, so much, investments that are likely to come in. While it might be early days, but we are also hearing about 5G becoming the next big battlefield for China and US. I think there's no way this business can suffer. I mean, you are in a spot where you will always be in demand. It's just a question of the dynamics on the input side and pricing that will decide how fast you grow. But I think and this dip that you saw in Sterlite some time back was a wonderful opportunity for long-term investors to get in. So I think it's still in that zone, maybe slightly, higher than what we saw earlier, but definitely very promising.
Okay, Prakash, thank you very much for dropping by and staying with us through pre-market. Just a couple of more questions to our technical experts. Ashwini, what's the big 920 call?
Yeah, I think the early morning dip should allow you to scale on the upside. Now, next target is, I think, 10,900, 910. Once that also gets crossed, more short covering should happen because you still have, Bank Nifty at a discount, Nifty not really at a premium. So people are still a bit unsure, and that is what will provide support to the market in terms of any sort of decline. So my sense is that still go long on the financials because that is what is really leading the market.
Okay. Sudarshan, anything now on your radar?
No, I think I agree with Ashwini. Shriram Transport Finance is bottoming out and is worth a trade. The risk is very small now.
Okay, the risk is small now. By the way, Reliance is back above the 1,000 rupee mark. So that's one of the heavyweights supporting the market, which is holding up now with above that 10,890.
I got a handsome thumbs up from Credit Suisse. So I think 1,180 was their price target. Usual disclaimers or disclosures. Reliance owns the companies that own the channel you're watching. Mitesh, last thoughts? Any stocks coming into your radar?
So, Lata, I think Marico is on the verge of breaking into all-time highs above the highs of 352, and Reliance is something which I do like a lot.
Yes.
I think once we can have a short-term target of around 1,025.30, but once we start getting past that, a good positional trade about 1,100 can open up.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us. It's turning out to be quite a good opening for the market, actually, almost a 0.5% gain. Let's invite our market master now, Dipen Sheth, the head institutional research of HDFC Securities is with us. Hi, Dipen, good morning. Good tidings for our market, at least up until now. What do you think could be leading it?
So markets are doing exactly what they are best at, which is defying short-term predictions. And we've been saying this for a while. Don't try to get the short-term right. So I think everybody and his mother-in-law have been cautious on markets, especially in the face of rising oil, rising interest rates, global trade turmoil and all of that, and markets are rock steady. So, let's leave the humor aside.
Yeah, let's leave the mothers-in-law aside. I don't think they would bear it. Anyway.
So like other people, we've also been a little more circumspect and cautious on calendar 18 versus calendar 17, which looked like a free ride of 30-odd%. And then we thought that the market is a fixed income space with 30% CAGR. It doesn't happen that way in markets. So we were expecting a crack of sorts to happen. The budget provided some triggers, oil provided some more. It cracked and then it pulled back from sub 10,000. And really, it's holding very, very strong right now. We are not bearish, but and nor do we want markets to fall, frankly. But there has to be very selective bullishness here on. And obviously, when you look at the valuation disparity between mid caps and large caps, it's the large caps that come into focus. Now, keep in mind that if a sell-off were to happen, let's say by FPIs, then it's actually the large caps which will face the brunt. But having said that, I think the mid-cap space has already seen a broader carnage of sorts. Good enough stocks are like 20, 30, 40% down from peaks. So it's not that it's going to be the large caps next. In fact, that money will, over a period of time, come back into the large caps.
Okay.
So that
So instead of asking you what large caps,
Yeah.
Let me first start with the mid-caps where you say there has been a carnage, but some have stood the test of time.
Yes.
Shriram Transport, our technical guys were saying that it's looking like it is resisting the fall further because of that debenture news. Chola, Mahindra, usual suspects. Do you like that pack?
So Shriram, Chola, Mahindra, all of these guys are primarily vehicle financiers.
Yes.
Financiers, right? So Mahindra, so I think Chola is the only one which has a substantial non-vehicle book. The lap book, as it were, what they call home equity. But auto sales are on a complete tear in that last quarter of, ending June 18. We are seeing, I think, system level CV volumes are up some 50-odd%. Obviously, because there was a low base, so last year, even PVs had a transition quarter because of the GST switchover, and the emission norms led to pre-buying in March 17, in the quarter ended March 17, so the quarter ended June 17 was very soft. But still, PV and two-wheeler volumes are up some 15-16%, which is a nice enough number given the way PVs have gone, and 50% on CV. So all these guys are going to see a blowout quarter. On quality, if you ask me, and I'm tired of saying this over and over again, there is nobody who has reached the gold standard like Chola has in terms of processes, in terms of scale, in terms of the quality of the book, their ability to bounce back from asset quality pain, all of that. Uplift kicking in now, 800 odd branches and so on. So Mahindra and Shriram Transport are next in the quality rung, but I think they are very well positioned to take advantage of this uptick right now. So you might see bigger gains there in terms of growth. I think the recent noise around the contingent liabilities that might crystallize, not just at Shriram Transport, but at Shriram City Union Finance, can be arithmetically explained away with a 6% cut in book value or something. But I don't like the kind of character that is exhibited when news like this comes out. Okay. It's got nothing to do with the main business, and if you're going to take contingent liability exposures like this, then it kind of cheeses me off as an investor. I think there's just too much of good work that these two companies have done, and I don't see why we should have had this kind of a small irritant like this in the story.
Okay, fair enough. So that's on the NBFC space. One of the stocks that you've been backing for a long time now is Hexaware, and we've seen that stock hit new highs lately. The question I'm asking you is does it still make sense to look into the broader market IT stocks, the Hexawares, Mindtrees, Persistence of the world, or do you stick with the large caps like TCS and HCL Tech, because there seems to be money to be made everywhere?
So Sonia, it's like this. IT is a winning horse right now. I'm happy we called it a little earlier than some of the other brokers, but the winning horses continue to run ahead. Sometimes even after the flag posts have been crossed, they just don't stop running.
Is it reaching an inflection point? I mean,
no, it isn't. That's the beauty. So when you're seriously in the money on,
I meant earnings.
Yes. So this is going to be a seasonally strong quarter. I'll come to Hexaware in a bit, but this is going to be a seasonally strong quarter. Investors will, probably read through some of the cross-currency headwinds that are happening, and the strong dollar will keep valuations high. It will also help absorb some of the price hikes. Valuations are still, the mid caps are at 12 to 15, 16x. The large caps, the worst of the large caps, if I can call it that way, TCS, which is easily the best, if you know what I mean, is at 20 odd or something. So I don't think, or maybe a little more than that, I don't remember. But I don't think that is going to be a concern anymore. Here are 35% kind of ROCE companies, compounding for the next 2 years. Business visibility is high. I would look out for the demand environment in the US. I would look out for what new things these companies are doing, what new acquisitions they are making. HCL Tech has been stumbling in terms of trying to ramp up from its acquisitions. Ditto for TechM. I would watch out for these two guys very closely. Digital in the mix is running high, much higher than what we would have thought a year and a half ago. So all those things are taken care of. These are high quality businesses. We'll back them. Now back to Hexaware. On Hexaware, I think now it is substantially owned by a private equity fund. Something similar to what happened in Emphasis is likely to happen as the PE fund seeks to book profits. And when strategic investors like this book profits, as opposed to promoters booking profits on some of their holdings, prices actually go up because it creates additional liquidity and opportunity for other investors to come in.
Okay, then, you know, the consumer durables, let's come to that. As you point out in your note, Voltas and Symphony went through a price,
went through a little bit of
people saying that it rained in summer and so the purchases were lower. Is that a reason to buy it?
So the winter of their discontent, if I may use a Shakespearean phrase.
Yes, summer of discontent. Okay.
Yes, so so this summer of discontent is but one summer in a series of extraordinary summers. Okay. This is a hot country. I don't think that's going to change in a hurry. That structural change, if anything, if the claims that environmentalists make about global warming are even half true, we are set for hotter and hotter times, or at least hot times as hot as we've seen them in the past. And at 22-23x on F20 earnings, a market leader with 22% coincidentally market share, and with every reason for me to believe that they are going to do well, and are not structurally losing any of their mojo, and in fact entering other durables categories over a period of time. There is absolutely no reason to get rattled on them. Okay. In fact, some of their other businesses might actually look up. Their projects business is already recovering, and their agency business on the machinery bit, the textile machinery bit, and all of that has also done very well in recent times. I think at 500 to 550 is the range to accumulate Voltas for anyone who's got a 2-3 year view on markets. Symphony also is down to affordable valuations after looking humongously costly when it went to over 2,000 at 1,400. I think again they made the small acquisition in Australia and all of that, so it's actually earnings accretive, or at least earnings neutral. But the larger opportunity with their kind of market share in the air cooler space, there's years and years of growth left in both companies. I wouldn't get bearish in a hurry on any one of them.
Oh, all right, Deepan, we'll have to leave it at that. We have plenty of stocks to ask you as the earnings season wears on.
Yes.
So we invite, here's an open invitation. Do keep dropping in as often as you can.
Thank you.
Well, the markets have opened and are maintaining the lead for now and built on it significantly. So now the 10,900 level has been scaled and we are racing to 10,914. So the early morning dip, as our technical experts were saying, should have been bought, whether you are looking for a longer term play, you know, a several weeks play, a positional play, or whether you're looking for intraday. The dip was the place to buy, and they've got it bang on. At least for now, people would be in the money if they had bought the early morning dip, whether it's Nifty Bank or Nifty. With that backdrop, let's invite perhaps the most important guest for the day, the Power Secretary. Well, incidentally, there is an important hearing scheduled in the Allahabad High Court today on the Reserve Bank's February 12th circular.